Cool.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Back again, another episode, Gladiator Cypher Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We got a fun show for you all lined up. But before we get there, just want to say, hey, what's going on, Ned? How you doing?
Ain't nothing, dog. Everything's cool. Just waking up. I took one of them unexpected dad naps. So, I'm here. You know what I mean? We rocking the Sanford, the
Oh,
Red
there you
Fox
go.
print today. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I like that
Gotta
one. That one's cool.
bring the tea.
That one's cool. I got my little Uzi Vert with Scarlet
Oh,
Witch on a little Uzi Vision hoodie. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, wanted to jump into this Will Smith thing. So, not sure if you know, but he actually released a book entitled Will. I think it's a biography, if I'm not mistaken, or autobiography actually,
okay.
because he's the one that's authoring it. So it's getting a lot of media attention. I've seen it kind of make the rounds. I know he sent Charlemagne the God like a cool display, like with the book, and it's got like art on all the sides, and you open it a certain way, kind of tells a story as you're opening up the box. So I thought that was really dope. I'm actually thinking about getting the book myself. It's just kind of like it's weird because we keep hearing about Will in a certain light with the Jada thing and stuff too, but he's still trying to make his own moves on the whole social media tip and kind of the self-improvement and, leading a better life tip. So that kind of got me thinking, like, how does someone, especially as popular as he is, try and promote and do his own thing, amidst all the controversy that just keeps popping up?
I think he's doing a good job of the shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I seen a post yesterday where he was standing on top of this big ass tower with the bungee suit on, not the bungee suit, but the little harness and shit. Yeah, I don't. To be honest with you, Jada's getting annoying to me, so I don't really know how to answer. Like, if I was Will, and even looking at Will, sometimes it's like he's just like, man, this was you just shut the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like what is she really? I don't know. Like, the Red Table Talk shit is cool. I watch a few of them, but it's kind of like it's kind of redundant. It's like it's one of those cliche words and shit. It's like trauma porn. It's the same way I feel about how they post like black people getting killed by the police and like fights and shit like that. Like, that shit is like, they call, I guess it's supposed to be like counseling on TV and shit, but it's really just like people just love negative shit, but they code it in this like soft talking, yeah, positive light, and I'm bald headed because I'm trying to be more, get my chakras together and be one with myself and the universe and the sun and the moon and the east reflect and I don't
trying to collect all my Pokemon.
Yeah, like I'm like way tired about like all this relationship talk and yeah, I don't know, but I think Will's doing a pretty decent job of navigating his way through the bullshit. And that's not to say that he's a victim in some way. He's one of those dudes, a multimillionaire, and I'm pretty sure he's getting way more cutty than Jada is getting. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure just moving as a dude, like you kind of know, like, all right, yeah, like, but he's like old school in the sense of like, bad boys moving silence. You know what I mean? Like, it don't need to be said. It don't need to be out there. I do what I do, and that's what it is. So yeah.
I feel like and it's kind of unfortunate too. It's kind of a lesson you can kind of take for this too, is people get in their own relationships and stuff. Like, if something happens, like, people can kind of hold on to one thing that may have happened, and that just be the narrative for the entire future. Like, we saw her thing with August, the whole entanglement piece, and now it's like anything that she says that comes out, oh, it's related to some sort of bullshit, even though she might not even say anything crazy. Like, it's just normal stuff.
Right, they form those. You're right.
And they just want to keep building on the same thing and the same thing, almost to the fact that where it's trying to steal some of the spotlight of the partner trying to do their own thing or promote their own thing. Because, like you said, me too, I always get tired of like, oh, I had to do X, Y, and Z, or don't get me wrong. I like that. Therapy is good. I think people should go to therapy, but I also think that it can be popular for people to like want to, play victim and stuff like that. And like, oh, I have to do X, Y, P, Q, Z, or like, I do this, and this. I'm like, okay, cool, do it. But, I don't have to know about every little step of your life. Whereas I think with Will, I think he's actually trying like something new, like even hearing some of his press about the book and stuff. Like he's talking about like his experiment in life. So for example, I just saw a clip where he was kind of talking about like unconditional love. And so we've heard this before, if you're Christian or familiar with the Bible, they talk about, maybe Jesus, God having unconditional love, or,
Right.
parents having unconditional love for their kids. But he's actually talking about, no, like I'm trying to do and practice unconditional love in a very practical way. And like, it's hard, and it's, you actually see it play out because we see all this bulls crap going on, in the public eye, real or fake, because the public is going to run with the public, whatever they want to see. But we kind of see someone deal with this in real time, like despite the news or despite public opinion or despite, what the kids are saying or the family is saying, like, it's like, no, we're going to stay together and have this family unit, which I think is kind of against the grain with a lot of the popular messaging that's going out now. Like if you think about it, we've recently been hearing a lot of talk about, kind of being your best self, living your best life. If something's not for you, leave it alone. If you're in a situation that's not working, okay, it didn't work, pack your bags and move on, do what's best for you. Where she's having kind of this new, not a new revelation so much, but kind of going against the grain and saying like, no matter what, I'm sticking in this situation, or, I'm going to proceed and move on with that. So I think that's kind of cool. I'm definitely interested in getting the book just to see, because he's had a crazy life. And I always like hearing from people with like tons of wealth, but hearing them get real about like their meaning behind life. Because a lot of people, like if you're middle class or if you don't make a lot of money, if you're in a impoverished situation, like you're just trying to get money. Like I need this raise, I need this XYZ, I gotta get this, if I could do this and we'll be set, Whereas on the other side, you got somebody like Will, he's got all the money he's ever going to need, in the world, all the fame he's ever going to need in the world. It's like, what keeps individuals like this ticking, or what keeps them going? It seems like he's done a lot of soul searching here recently, and really trying to find out like, okay, what's his purpose? What's his big meaning behind everything? And it seems that he settled on the idea of love, loving and being loved, and that unconditional love. So I think it's interesting. Definitely going to give the book a read, see what he's talking about in there. And yeah, hopefully this kind of takes some of the spotlight away from his wife, because I think it was that whole August thing was it was weird. It was a funny little piece, but I think for me, I'm kind of ready to move on from the whole narrative, the whole Jada thing, because like now it's just out of control. Like we said, any little thing that comes up in an interview or anything someone says,
some salacious shit.
Yeah, it's salacious, and it's not even salacious. Like you're kind of losing the whole message and everything around her podcast, which is good. They do talk about a lot of issues women deal with and stuff like that. So people just throwing that out.
Because actually had some joints with like Wale, and then
oh, I didn't even know that.
Wale was on there one time. He was talking about love relationships and shit. I remember the joint with T.I., and they were talking about like his relationship with his daughter and how he was talking about like the doctor's appointments and whether or not she had started having sex and all that shit. Like it's some quality shit that's on the, like I used to like listen to the Red Table Talk shit like a lot. After the August thing, it just kind of got like, once the whole
damage
family
control, like
that was weird. The August thing was weird, and then the girl that was messing around with one of the Kardashians' boyfriends,
Black China, or
something like that.
No, I know you're talking Jordan.
Nah, Jordan Woods.
Yeah.
Is that her name? Yeah, like that one was kind of weird. It was like, why are you addressing that Yeah, I get it. Like that's your folks and shit like that, but it just seems like some of that shit is just like, all right, man, like that was unnecessary. Yeah. I don't. That's not something I'm really into. Like the real shit, like what people going, like working through shit, and you know what I mean, talking like I enjoy I enjoy both of this. I enjoy the Red Table Talk. I enjoy Will's Instagram and Facebook and like the shit that he talks about when they first kind of made this like this surge, like this new. I guess you can say they reinvented, you know what I mean, or like came back out because they had been, you know, we hadn't heard
pretty silent,
yeah, for a while and shit, and then like this whole thing when he came back out and was like, you know, talking about like happiness in your life and relationships, and it's not the other person's responsibility to make you happy and shit like that. Like that's some quality shit to bring to folks. But I you know, it got, you know, it just got. I don't know, like it's just
a little too
money,
Hollywood.
Yeah, once money and shit start getting into it, and you want to put you know, advertisement showing that, you know, you gotta squeeze the juice out of the shit that, like, you know, people like negative shit. People like dramatic things, and it's like all right, like I get it, like those things happen, but let's, you know what I mean, put more to focus on, like how Will was saying, you know, unconditional love is like really hard. Like I don't really have. I mean, my kids, and even with that, sometimes it's like, you know, today ain't the day, young blood. Like that ain't, you know what I mean? Like it just, you know what I mean? So that's like real shit people deal with and talk about. And then, you know, people deal with relationship in their life too, but it's just like that's not the only thing that happens inside. Like sex outside of a relationship isn't the only strain that gets put on the relationships between people. And like we just harp on these things because it's like that's the shit that like the provocative headlines and shit. You know what I mean?
It sells kind of to the public, but the day-to-day stuff is really where it can get difficult. Like, you know, it's a grind being in a relationship. Like you deal with, you know, coming together two lives. Like, you know, each person has their own habits and, you know, how they live, their own upbringing that kind of affects them. And so you try and mesh those together. A lot of times it's difficult. You know, you're trying to unlearn things, learn new things. You know, try and please your partner, make sure you're pleased as well. That can be difficult, but it's annoying, like you said, when you got people that are trying to really kind of go in and talk about these things and show like, hey, you know, it's not only normal. I mean, it's not only normal folks that deal with this. Everybody has these kind of problems, and you know, these are some of the ways we kind of fixed it. Versus, oh, I was with this young R&B cat or XYZ, or Jordan Woods slept with whoever, and now. With that one, I thought it was kind of cool that they took up for their peoples kind of as like the black media.
That's a fact. Yeah.
I thought that was cool because I know the Kardashians is definitely trying to throw that young lady under the bus and everything and just talking crazy. So I thought that was cool, but I really didn't care. But I like the fact that you had this black kind of program.
I appreciate them taking up for it, but she was being a hoe though.
Like, I mean,
spade. He was out here kissing and fucking on somebody else, dude. Like that was supposed to be your homie. Like you moving greasy, bitch. But I get it. Like it was still good to see them like kind of like take up and absorb some of the hit that she was going that she was taking. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Like we got to kind of like seeing people from our community with money and resources and power and influence kind of use that shit to deflect it against, you know, not against, but like, you know what I mean? Like in the same way that that type of powerful family would use it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Throw their weight around.
Yeah. And it was also good to see Kanye talk shit about them too.
But that's been another episode of the Gladiator Cypher podcast. You can follow us on pretty much all the social medias out there. Be sure to also follow our network. It's the Head Cannon Circus. You can find all sorts of podcasts on there, whether it's the N-Word for Nerd podcast or also the sports one, which is, what's the name of the sports channel?
Jay gonna kick our ass for this shit.
Yeah, Jay edited the sports section on here. But yeah, just tons of content for you, no matter what you like. We pretty much got you covered at Head Cannon Circus. So be sure to check it out. And then also we need those comments. We need those, you know, interactions in the comments down below so we can bring back the Nip Clackback segment. So if you think his headphones is wild, because he has some crazy takes, you know, was I off on something? Let us know in the comments below so we can interact and engage with you all. But other than that, we'll see y'all next week. Tune in.
Yes,
Peace.
sir.